Okay, think about the biggest, maybe the most daunting challenge you're facing right now. Could be a massive goal, could be a setback you just can't quite shake, or maybe it's just the sheer friction of everyday life getting to you.
We've all been there.
Exactly. We've all hit that moment where the pressure feels intense, and honestly, giving up seems like the logical, the low energy option, right?
And yet some people, they don't give up. They manage not just to survive those moments, but sometimes they actually seem to, well, thrive in them.
That's what we're diving into today.
Yes, we're doing a focused deep dive into a source that offers a really comprehensive blueprint. It's aimed entirely at cultivating what might be the single most crucial psychological asset for pushing through: mental toughness.
Right. And our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to go beyond, the usual motivational posters. We want to formally define this vital trait and, more importantly, distill the, 16 key actionable practices the source outlines for using it?
16 specific things you can do.
Not just to cope, but to actively build what the source calls your best life. We're really looking for the mechanics here, not just slogans.
Okay, so to start, let's be really clear about what this trait actually is. Mental toughness. It's not about being stubbornly irrational or emotionless.
That's a common misconception.
It really is. Our source defines it as a psychological trait enabling individuals to remain highly resilient, consistently focused, and internally determined, especially when facing sustained adversity, stress, or just really challenging situations.
I like that distinction because toughness often sounds like suppression, doesn't it?
It does.
But what I'm hearing is it's less about being stoic, like bottling things up, and more about efficient internal management. Having the psychological capacity to persevere, keep a constructive mindset while you're actually in the thick of it.
Exactly. And the source is emphatic on this point. This trait is developed, it's not inherited.
Ah, okay. So you build it.
You build it from specific qualities, things like self-discipline, controlled emotional responses, high adaptability, and crucially, the ability to maintain motivation even when circumstances feel truly overwhelming. It's like the engine that turns your intentions into sustained reality.
Okay, so let's unpack this blueprint then. The source seems to break down developing mental toughness into, 4 interconnected clusters of practices?
That's right, 4 clusters.
And the first one focuses on strategy. This acts as the foundation, the map, because, if you don't know where you're going, all that tough determination is just spinning wheels.
Right.
Undirected effort.
Precisely. Strategy gives your effort direction. So the first strategic practice identified is set clear goals.
Simple enough.
Well, yes, but the key word is clear. Goals have to be specific. They need to be achievable. Vague ambitions like I want to be successful, they just don't provide the motivational clarity needed when fatigue or doubt sets in. That clear purpose becomes your sort of magnetic north.
Okay, setting goals is one thing.
Yeah.
But the hard part is what comes next, isn't it? Sticking to it.
Which is exactly why the source immediately moves to the next practice. Stay committed.
Persistence.
Extreme persistence, actually.
That's right.
And consistency. It's the daily grind, often the boring work of just showing up, even when things aren't going well. It's about building momentum day by day, not waiting around for inspiration to strike.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
But how does the source suggest we manage our energy during that, long haul of commitment? Because trying to control everything and everyone around you, that feels like a guaranteed path to burnout.
Absolutely. And that leads directly to a really powerful efficiency practice. Focus on controllable factors.
Okay, tell me more.
This practice is about applying mental discipline, concentrating your finite energy only on what you can actually influence.
Like what?
Your effort, your reaction to things, your planning, and critically, accepting what you cannot influence. Think about traffic. You can't control it, right?
Right.
But you can control, when you leave, your attitude about being late, maybe listening to this deep dive while you wait. Accepting those external factors saves immense psychological energy.
That distinction, internal reaction versus external circumstance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels like the whole ball game right there.
That really is key.
So once you've filtered out the noise, you know what's controllable, the final strategic step seems pretty logical. Maintain focus.
Yes. Stay disciplined on those prioritized tasks. Mental toughness here means you actively work to block distractions. Keep your eyes on the essential steps needed to reach that specific goal you already set. That's the strategic bedrock, built on discipline.
Okay, so that's the strategy, the external plan. Now we shift gears, moving inward. Mastering the internal dialogue, which the source calls internal cognitive reframing.
That's right, cognitive reframing.
This feels like where the real resilience is forged, because if your internal narrative is destructive, that carefully crafted strategy, it's going to fall apart at the first sign of trouble.
That's the core insight, isn't it? Cognitive reframing is the practice of consciously choosing how you interpret events, especially setbacks.
Choosing your interpretation.
Exactly. And the source gives us 5 specific cognitive tools to help rewrite that internal script. The first one is positive self-talk.
Now, hang on. A lot of people hear positive self-talk, and they immediately think of, those kind of saccharine, maybe unbelievable affirmations, I am wonderful, that sort of thing. But the source means something deeper, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's not about just repeating I am awesome into the mirror. It's about actively replacing destructive narratives, I always mess this up, I'll never get this right, with constructive, process-oriented language.
Like what? Give me an example.
Like, okay, I'm learning from this mistake. Or, I am persistent, I can figure this out. You use self-talk to build resilience by encouraging the process of getting back up, focusing on effort and learning, not just wishfully affirming a desired outcome.
Okay, that feels much more practical. And I guess once that internal voice starts becoming more supportive, more constructive, you can fundamentally change how you view difficulty itself.
Yes, exactly. Which leads straight into the second practice. Embrace challenges.
Instead of running from them.
Precisely. The mentally tough person learns to view difficulties not as threats to be avoided at all costs, but as genuine opportunities for growth. They understand, maybe intuitively at first, then consciously, that engaging with hard things is the only way to build mental strength, like lifting weights builds physical muscle.
This completely changes the relationship with failure then, doesn't it?
Dramatically. Which brings us to practice number 3. Learn from failure.
Don't just endure it. Learn from it.
Right. Instead of letting failure define you or stop you, you analyze it. What went wrong? What data did this attempt give me? You essentially treat failure as like version 1.0, not the end of the road.
So you make adjustments, extract the lesson.
And immediately move forward. You don't dwell.
Okay. And if you're committed to learning like that, you can also sort of prepare for success before it even happens. Is that part of it?
That's where the next tool, visualization, comes in.
Ah, okay.
Now, again, this isn't magical thinking. It's about mentally rehearsing success, running through different scenarios in your mind, seeing yourself performing well, handling potential issues.
Like a mental practice run.
Exactly. This kind of rehearsal actually builds neural pathways. It increases your confidence and your readiness before you step into that high-stakes meeting or presentation or competition.
So all these internal practices, the supportive self-talk, embracing challenge, analyzing failure, visualizing success, they all feed into the 5th item in this mindset cluster, which is cultivate a positive mindset.
Correct. The sum total of practicing these cognitive tools leads naturally to a more inherently optimistic outlook. And the source notes, this isn't a naive optimism that ignores problems.
Right. It's realistic.
It's a proactive optimism. It tends to attract opportunities and solutions simply because you're looking for possibilities and paths forward, rather than getting stuck on limitations and roadblocks.
Okay, makes sense. We've covered the internal strategy and the cognitive mindset shaping. Now we need to connect that internal work to, external action and actually sustaining it all.
Yes.
Because mental toughness isn't just about thinking resiliently, right? It's about pushing past analysis paralysis and actually doing something. Taking decisive action.
Absolutely. And the first action step listed is pretty direct. Overcome obstacles.
Face them head on.
When challenges inevitably hit, and you face them with determination, mental toughness provides that psychological leverage you need to push through genuine setbacks, instead of automatically seeking the path of least resistance.
And I imagine pushing through one obstacle kind of naturally builds momentum for the next proactive element you mentioned.
Growth. Exactly. You pursue growth continuously. This means actively seeking out opportunities for personal and professional development, even and perhaps especially when it requires stepping way outside your comfort zone.
Intentionally doing hard things.
That's how you continuously reinforce your mental toughness. And this commitment to ongoing growth is what really enables the 3rd action point, embrace change.
Change. That's a big one. Because change often feels disruptive, maybe even threatening to people.
It often does. But the tough mindset, the resilient mindset, learns to see change differently. Maybe not always comfortable, but inherently positive in the long run, a chance for new experiences, new learning, personal development. You adapt to shifts in life or career with a positive, proactive attitude rather than freezing up or resisting.
Okay. And once you build this confidence in handling obstacles, in growing and adapting to change, you gain the psychological capital, let's say, to take risks.
Yes, but the source is careful here. It emphasizes taking calculated risks.
Right. Not just jumping off cliffs.
Exactly. Mental toughness enables you to weigh the options clearly, assess potential downsides, and then take well-considered risks that hold the potential for significant rewards. You can do this because you're confident in your ability to handle the outcome, to recover and learn, even if it isn't immediate success. You've already done the cognitive work to handle failure, remember?
That's a great link back. Okay, so those are the proactive action elements. But the source makes another really important point, which is that this high-level performance, you can't sustain it if you burn out.
No, definitely not.
So the fourth cluster is all about maintenance and support.
Yeah.
Mental toughness needs fuel. It needs replenishment.
Yes, the resilience loop has to include recovery and replenishment. So first, the source says we need to manage stress effectively.
How?
By utilizing proven techniques. Things like deep breathing exercises, consistent physical exercise, maybe focused meditation or mindfulness practices. The goal is to keep your nervous system regulated, especially when you're under pressure. You simply can't be tough and resilient if you're constantly operating in a state of fight or flight.
That's critical. And it's also really important to remember this isn't some solo hero journey, is it? The source mentions support. Even the toughest people often rely on strong support structures.
Oh, absolutely essential. Which is why the next practice is seek support. You have to consciously build and then utilize a strong network. Friends, family, mentors, maybe even a coach or therapist. People who can offer guidance, perspective, and just genuine encouragement.
Leaning on others isn't weakness then.
Not at all. The source positions it as a sign of strength, recognizing you need external perspective, accountability, maybe just a listening ear. That's smart self-management.
And perhaps the most fundamental piece of fuel for this whole engine is self-care.
Yes. Prioritize physical and mental well-being. This is presented as mandatory, not optional.
Like what specifically?
Adequate sleep, proper nutrition, regular movement or exercise. These are the non-negotiables. You simply cannot perform the demanding cognitive and emotional work of mental toughness if the basic engine your body and mind is running on empty or sputtering.
Okay. And this brings us to the final element in this maintenance cluster, and honestly, maybe the most profound one. Give back. The source suggests that using your personal resilience, not just for your own gain, but actually to help others, to contribute to society, that this is somehow integral to sustaining your own toughness. How does that work?
It's a fascinating point, isn't it? This is where the blueprint really elevates beyond standard self-help advice. The idea is when you focus solely on your own struggles, those struggles can feel all-consuming, maybe overwhelming.
Yeah, you can get lost in them.
But when you apply your strength, your resilience, the skills you've built to help another person or contribute to a cause bigger than yourself, it provides powerful perspective. It deepens your sense of purpose. By contributing to the betterment of your community or helping someone navigate their own challenges, you actually reinforce the value and meaning of your own hard-won psychological discipline. It anchors your personal effort to something larger.
Wow. That's a really interesting connection. It suggests that, external contribution actually feeds back into internal resilience. It makes the tough work feel more meaningful, perhaps.
That seems to be the implication. So if we try to tie all these 16 practices together, look at the bigger picture. The core message is clear. Developing mental toughness isn't a quick fix. It's not a weekend seminar.
Definitely not.
It is a long-term, ongoing journey. It's like training for a marathon combined with a lifelong commitment to well-being. It requires continuous input across all four of those clusters we talked about, the strategy, the mindset, the action, and the support and maintenance.
The bottom line seems to be this relentless pursuit of just getting better every day, mentally, emotionally, strategically.
That's a good way to put it.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you, the listener, sitting there right now? How did this apply? Well, this trait, mental toughness, it provides the foundation. The foundation to face basically every challenge life throws at you, to persist through the inevitable grind, and importantly, to seize the opportunities that truly align with your vision of a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
Mental toughness is like the operating mechanism that takes your good intentions and actually turns them into tangible results.
And building on that, this is where that give back concept serves as perhaps our final provocative thought for you today. The source is pretty clear. Personal success is powerful, yes, but when that hard-won strength, that resilience you build is used to empower others, it doesn't diminish your own toughness. The argument is it actually amplifies it. Amplifies it. So we challenge you to consider this. As you commit to these practices, as you start building this toughness and achieving your goals, how might applying your newfound resilience, your psychological capital, help you actively contribute to the world around you? How could your internal growth become the key to making a real external impact?
That is a powerful direction for reflection. We've laid out 16 specific practices today, haven't we? Covering everything from setting clear goals and positive self-talk all the way through to practicing self-care and ultimately giving back.
A comprehensive toolkit.
It really is. So maybe take a moment right now, just pause and reflect. Which single practice out of all those feels like the lowest hanging fruit for new? The one thing you could realistically commit to starting maybe even today.
Just one small step.
That's your immediate next step. That's the start of the path toward building your most resilient and potentially your most impactful life.